very happy to be here on the very special occasion of Dhammachakkapavattana day, or we call it as the Dhamma day. Dhammachakkapavattana Sutta. This is the first discourse the Buddha has given after his enlightenment. So after receiving the milk rice from the Upasika Sujata for 49 days in and around the Bodhi tree, he has spent after his enlightenment, which we call a Sapta, 7 weeks after his enlightenment. So in this 7 weeks, he has spent in different parts in and around the Bodhi tree. So during this time, when he was spending under the Bodhi tree, a thought arises in his mind. In that, he surveyed the whole world with his divine eyes, and he sees the people, the nature of the people, the nature of the beings. Their minds are fully polluted, fully covered, and they're what we call avijja, not knowing the things clearly. So Buddha thought that since the people are fully polluted, their mind are fully polluted, so if I teach the Dhamma, the people will not be able to understand the Dhamma. The people will not be able to understand or to realize the Dhamma. And he compared the people with the lotus flowers. As there are some lotus flowers which arise from the mud in the pond, and there without able to come out of the water, it's just sink there or die there or eaten by some water animals like fish and other things. So he compared like this to the people. This is one category of people. After teaching continuously, the people will not able to understand the Dhamma. That is the one reason why he made his mind not to teach the Dhamma. And then again he contemplated that there is another categories of people, like a lotus flower, which try to come out from the water. Just it is on the level of the water, but not above the water. This is one category of people. And the third category is the one who has just come above the water, but he is not still fully bloomed, just it is in the lotus bud. And another category is the one who have come above the water, rise above the water, and which is very beautifully bloomed. So like these 4 categories of people he have considered. Then the Brahma Samapati, who requests the Buddha, the whole world is in darkness. If you don't preach the Dhamma, the people will never come out from the difficulties. As we know, the 4 noble truths: suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, and the path leading to the end of suffering. So the people will be, due to ignorance, avijja, not knowing, the people will remain in arrogance or ignorance. They will not be able to see clearly. As in Dhammachakka, we recite Chakkunyana, like this, no? Jnana means wisdom. Due to ignorance, people, wisdom is not able to see. So in this way, he had seen. Then this Brahma Samavati requests the Buddha to preach the Dhamma. And this is how the Buddha accepts his invitation of preaching the Dhamma. And this is how from Buddha till Saranath, he go through and he start preaching this Panchavagya Bhikkhu, the 5 ascetics who were with him before. Since he had gave up this, the extremists, so these Panchavagya thought that now the ascetic Gouthama have come back to the normal life. That is what they think, and they left him and they went to Saranath to stay there. So at the time Buddha have attained the enlightenment, and with his divine eye, he was seeing whom to preach the Dhamma first. So he have seen his first teacher, then his second teacher, Uddakaramaputra, and the another teacher who have already passed away. So why he has seen this? Because he knew this. These are the person whose mind are pure and clear. If I teach them, they will be able to understand the Dhamma. But they have already passed away, so they will not be able to get the Dhamma. And he thought of teaching to these Panchavagya bhikkhus. So this is how he went to Saranath in Isipatana, and he started preaching the Dhammachakka Sutta to these 5 ascetics. So in English we say Dhammachakkapavattana, setting the will in motion of Dhamma. The Dhamma is keep on rotating from the time the Buddha had preached the Dhamma till now. The Dhamma is rotating. It's keep on rotating, and thousands of people are benefited. Before going to the discourse, let me tell you some important event of today. As we only most of us think that today is only the Dhammachakkapavattana. But when we go by and see very clearly, on this Ashada full moon day, so many events took place during the time of Bodhisattva. So, as all of you know, the dreams of Queen Mahamayadevi. In Queen Mahamayadevi, he has seen a dream. In the dream, the white elephant came and it circled her and entered in the right side of her womb. So this is the day. On this day, this Mahamayadevi had seen this dream. So today is not only Dhammachakkapavattana day. Today is also a very special day that Queen Mahamayadevi have seen this dream. And this is the one occasion. And another is his great renunciation. At the age of 29, he left the palace, his kingdom, mother and father, wife and a newborn baby, and he renounced the world, renounced the household life in order to find the truth. That is sickness, old age, sickness, disease, death, and how to overcome all this suffering. This is what was his main intention. That is why he renounced the household life on this Ashada full moon day. This is the another event. And the another is the Dhammachakkapavattana. This is the third one. And after his enlightenment, Buddha visited his hometown, that is Kapilavatthu. So when he visited the Kapilavatthu, his own clans, the Sakyan people, since they were the warrior class, so due to this warrior class, they were very much arrogant, they were very much proud. So when Buddha arrived at Kapilavatthu, the kings and the nobles and some people, those who are senior to him, they didn't pay respect to him. They sent the small ones forward, you go and pay respect. We are senior to him, we are elder to him, we'll sit behind. Like this, the thought was arising in the mind of these second people. In order to substitute their thought, their mind, Buddha performed the twin miracles, Yamaka Patihara, what we call in Pali. So on this day, this Yamaka Patihara was performed by the Buddha. So in this Yamaka Patihara, from his body, one side fire and the other side water was coming out. And this is how he suppressed the ego, the ill will and this of the second people. And this is how he started preaching and how the faith and devotion arise in this second people. So this is the another event that took place here in this Ashada poornima day. And also on this day, Buddha gave the Abhidhamma to his departed mother. So on this Ashada poornima day, he went to Tawatingsa Heaven to preach the Abhidhamma for 3 months. So all these are the significance of today. Not only Dhammachakkapavattana, so many things have happened. And if we see it very clearly, on this day the sangha was formed. Before there was no sangha. So the first two travelers, Tapasu and Baduka, who were taking refuge, they were taking only the 2 refuge. There were no 3 refuge. Now we all are taking the 3 refuge. Sarana we call. So since the sangha was not there at that time, the Buddha was there and the Dhamma was there. So these 2 persons have taken only the 2 refuge. Buddha Sarana Gacchami, Dhamma Sarana Gacchami, what he has. So all these things have happened on this Ashada poornima day. So this poornima day is very much important for, especially for the Buddhist people, for the Buddhist community. And also on other religions, today they are observing as the Guru Purnima. They are respecting and honoring the spiritual teachers on this day. So this is also us, for the Buddhists also, we remember the Buddha, who is our teacher, supremely enlightenment teacher, whom we remember and whom we go in refuge. As all of you have taken the 3 refuges before the precept, going refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. So this is what the importance of today. These are all the events that took place. Now let me summarize. I'm not going in deep details of the Dhammachakkapavattana Sutta, just I will summarize it. So in this Dhammachakkapavattana Sutta, In the commentary, it is mentioned very clearly. There were only 5 human beings, the Panchavagya bhikkhus. These 5 ascetics were only the human beings who were present to listen the first discourse. But there are thousands of divine beings, 84,000 divine beings, they were gathering there and listening to the Dhamma discourse. His first Dhamma discourse, which we call as the Dhammachakkapavattana Sutta. So these many divine beings not only attained or listened to the discourse, but they have realized the Dhamma, they understood the Dhamma, and they have put an end to the suffering. So this is another thing. So before starting that, the Buddha was telling about this discourse. He said that one should not involve in 2 extremes, he was telling. That is Attha-kilamato and Kama-sukha-lugo yogo. These are the 2 extremes. He said that any person who wants to develop on the path of spirituality or to live a peaceful life, he have to avoid the 2 extremes. The 2 extremes, the first one is indulging in sensual pleasure or sensual desire or in worldly activities. This is the first extremist the Buddha was telling. One should not involve or indulge in sensual pleasure. If one is involved in sensual pleasure, then what happens? It is, if Buddha says that this is baseless, this is not noble, this does not bring the mind to calm and peace, and one cannot see the reality of the nature. That is why Buddha said that one should avoid the extremes. One should give away the extremes, that is, indulging in sensual pleasure. Then another he was telling about this self-mortification or self-torture, we can call it. As we read the story, life of the Buddha, then we can see the Buddha. He was practicing so hard, so much. He became a living skeleton, which we call the dukkacharya. Full, his flesh, meat, everything has dried up, only he was like a living skeleton. So when he had tortured his body in this way, he had never gained anything. It is only painful for the body. When the body is in pain, when the body is in trouble, the mind is not calm, it's not peaceful. So when the mind is not calm and peaceful, we cannot focus on a particular object or any other things. Due to the pain, the mind is restless. Due to this restlessness, one cannot able to see the things clearly. That is why here also he said, torturing oneself, practicing in this, then it is baseless. It has no values. So one should avoid these 2 extremes. When one can avoid these 2 extremes, and one should follow the middle path. The middle path is the Noble Eightfold Path. So the Buddha said about the 4 noble truths in this Dhammachakkapavattana: suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, and the path leading to the end of suffering. These are the 4 noble truths. Since why it is called a noble? Because it is really the truth. That nobody can deny that suffering is not there. Now so many devotees very devotedly come forward today in order to pay respect to the Triple Gem and to honor the teachers, the supremely enlightened teachers. But by sitting here also, somebody or the other has some problem is there, some pain is there, something problem here and there, something is there. So suffering is everywhere. So we cannot deny that there is no suffering. Suffering is there everywhere. Suffering is there. That is the first noble truth the Buddha has said. Suffering. Then in suffering, what is suffering? He said. Then birth is suffering. Jati bhi dukha, jara bhi dukha, vyadhi bhi dukha, maranam bhi dukha, apiyehi sampayugo dukho, piyehi vipayugo dukho, yampi chamna labambi tampi khandana dukha, pachupadana khanda dukha. So here he said birth is suffering. If a person does not born in this world, then there will be no suffering. So he said birth is suffering, aging is suffering. When we are young, we have a lot of strength, energy, everything, the sense faculties are very good. Eyes we can see clearly, the teeth are good, our gray our black hair are there, skin are all smooth, all the faculties are very good. At that time we are very strong. And at that time we never contemplate about the realities of the life. So here he said the body is like aging. When aging, now everybody is fine. When start slowly, aging come, the eyes faculties, what we can see clearly that cannot be seen. What we can eat that we cannot eat. The hair which is now dark, it become grey. The skin will become wrinkles. All these things, this is what he said, suffering jati. Then sickness. When sickness comes, lot of suffering is there. Then he said that when one is separated from the near and dear ones, the liking peoples, we can say, take an example of mother and father or somebody whom we like much. When we are separated from the near and dear ones, it is also suffering, what he says in this, as noble truth suffering. Then association with the disliking people. When we associate with the people whom we don't like, that is also suffering, he said. And the 5 aggregates. Main thing is the 5 aggregates. Rupa Khanda, Vedana Khanda, Sanya Khanda, and Sankhara Khanda. These are the aggregates. Because of these aggregates, we are suffering. Body, perceptions, consciousness, all these things are there. Because of these, what we are suffering. This is what Buddha mentioned in the first noble truth, suffering. And in the second noble truth, he said, cause of suffering. Why people are suffering? There is a cause. There is a reason. As it is mentioned, kamha tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Kamha tanha means one every time craving for the sensual desire due to this 6 sense, eyes, nose, body, ear, nose, tongue, and mind. These are due to this, the craving. We want the things. By seeing, we want the things more. When we see the beautiful things, we want to get it. In the same way, sound, taste, smell, or touch. And with the mind, we perceive. This sense organ sees the things, and with the mind, we perceive the things. Due to this perception, that these are the reason, the craving, wanting, we want every time. Due to this wanting, yes, there is the suffering. So this is the cause. This is the reason of suffering. Kamatana, bhavatana. Bhavatana means not wanting. Wanting is also suffering. Not wanting is also suffering. When one don't want, but you have to be associated, as I was telling, as you have to associate with these people, then that is also suffering. And another one is bhavatana, vibhavatana. That means annihilation. You say, I don't like, I don't want, and putting end to these things. Or we can say killing oneself. This is also suffering. So this is the second noble truth, what the Buddha says. There is a reason. Due to the reason of these things, main thing is about this craving. Due to the craving, people are suffering. So the third one is end of suffering. We can end the suffering. It's not that the suffering cannot end. When we go back to the time of the Buddha, till now we can see so many Aryas are there, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. They have realized it, they have practiced it, they have followed the noble eightfold path, the middle path, and they have realized, and they have ended the suffering. So the suffering can be ended. It's not that suffering can be ended. In order to end the suffering, we have to put down the craving. Then, lobha, dosa, and moha, greed, hatred, and delusion. Due to greediness, our suffering we cannot put an end. We have to put down, or let down, or to go away is craving. Then dosa, anger, hatred, jealousy. These are the things which polluted the mind. Because of the pollution of the mind, we want to think again and again. We want to get attached to these things. And another thing is ignorance, avijja, not knowing things. The nature of the thing is anicca, impermanence. Nothing is permanent. Everything arises and it passes away. So in the Dhammachakkapavattana, at the end we decide, Anya Kundana Tuam Namam Ahositi, we are telling this. Yes, Kundanya, Lord Buddha was telling, yes, Kundanya, you are the one, you have really understood the Dhamma. There and there, Kundanya, when this first discourse, the Dhammachakkapavattana was given, this Kundalini was the first to understand the Dhamma. He understood that whatever things arise is cease, is pass away. Nothing is permanent. This is what he says. That is why anicca is anicca. Then dukkha. Everybody knows that suffering is there. But we are not aware all the time. We want to hold the things. When we keep holding the things, then it gives problem to us. This is how the suffering comes. Anatta is non-self. Our body, we are telling us, we are thinking that it is a self. If it is a self, then when pain arises or something arises, we have the power to control it, but we don't have the power to control it. So where it is the self? It is non-self. It is just a mixture of the elements. Here Buddha says, this body is made up of elements. The four elements, earth elements, water element, fire element, and the air elements. These are the elements that form the body. And that's why when one pass away, one die, all the elements mix with their own base, body, the flesh, bone, and other things, mix with the earth. Then we stop breathing means the breath go with the air. Like this, when we burn, that's why the body is getting burned. Why? Because fire, heat element is there. Water, like tears, blood, so many other things are there. So all this goes away. That is why it is non-self. This body is not a self. It is non-self. It is just a combination of some elements. That is why he said that it is a non-self. One should not get attached to this. When we get attached to this, the suffering is arise. So this is the third noble truth what the Buddha says. And the fourth noble truth is the Noble Eightfold Path. Everybody know the Noble Eightfold Path. So in this Noble Eightfold Path, I'm not going to go in details about the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path we can summarize into three categories. That is Sila, Samadhi, and Painya. Sila is morality. As in the Noble Eightfold Path, it is summarized and made into Sila. Can anybody say what are the Silas from the Noble Eightfold Path? Right thought, right speech, right action. These are come under Sila. So when we summarize this like this, we can better understand it. So these come in Sila, morality, speech. As you are taking the speech in the five precepts, Musawada. When we say Musawada, it does not mean that only telling lie. In Musawada, so many things are there. Like Pisuna Farusa Vacha, Sampa Phalapa, all these things are included in this Musawada. That means backbiting, hard speech, speaking ills against others, tales bearing, all these are included in this Musawada. So all this comes under Sila, right speech, then right action. Right action means to perform a good, like non-killing, non-stealing, non-sexual misconduct. This is with the body we perform. So like this we can able to understand clearly. Then another is livelihood. We have to live a normal life, good life. So in Buddha's, he mentioned that livelihood should be developed. And he said that a person who deals with the living beings, this is not a right livelihood. Take an example, opening a butcher shop. There you have to kill things to sell. So this is not a right livelihood. And opening a wine shop, because in our precept, the fifth precept is Surameria. So one who engages in this business, this is not considered as a right livelihood. So like this, it is clearly mentioned very nicely in the Noble Eightfold Path, which we can summarize into Sila, Samadhi. In Samadhi, what are the Samadhi? Right effort, right concentration, right meditation practice. These are the come under bhavana. So bhavana means first we have to, as today Bhante was guiding you to practice the metta bhavana. This is a part of meditation. That's why Buddha gave different techniques of meditation. For a person who is too much anger, now and then he get angry, now and then he get agitated. For this type of person whose behavior, whose character like this, so Buddha said that one should practice metta bhavana. When one practice metta bhavana, you share the metta to those people. And also we try to remember the person whom we don't like, what are his good qualities, what are things he is doing. That is how that jealousy, anger, it will go down. And for the person who are very much restless, not able to focus on the things, for them anapanasati, the concentration on the incoming and outgoing breath. This is how we can able to focus the things. And a person, those who are too much involved in sensual pleasure, then one should contemplate on asubha, impurities of the body. Our body, we have to contemplate the impurities, the 32 parts of the body that we can contemplate. And when too much jealousy, anger, hatred, all this can then marana sati. We have to contemplate on that. When we contemplate on that, slowly all the things will go down, because one realizes, oh, one day I have to die. And I don't have time to do all these things. This is how one can go. So all this come into bhavana. Then painya. Then wisdom. In order to arise the wisdom, in Dhammapada there is a verses. Then it is mentioned that without meditation, wisdom will not arise. Without meditation, wisdom will not arise. And without meditation, the wisdom will cease, it will go down. So in order to develop the wisdom, we have to practice meditation. Unless and until we practice meditation, wisdom will not arise. So in the Noble Eightfold Path, the first two are there, which come into wisdom. Right understanding. We have to see the thing, understanding. Right understanding means we should know about the Four Noble Truths. Then we should know about the anicca, dukkha and anatta. This is the right understanding. When we know about all these things, then it becomes very much easy for us to put down the things. Otherwise, every time we are holding the things, due to holding of the things, it becomes a burden. Since due to burden, we are not able to carry it. That is how we are suffering. So in order to put down the burden, we have to follow this Noble Eightfold Path, which we call as the middle path, or the Majjhima Patipada. This is the middle way where we have to practice. And this is how the Buddha has mentioned that one can end the suffering. So he said that by practicing this, Jnana Upade, Chakku Upade, all these things will arise. Wisdom will arise. You will see the things clearly. The understanding will grow. This is what he said. And this is how he said in the end, in this Dhammachakkapavattana, he had mentioned about the name of some divine beings. That he said that neither the Brahma or the Mara or the human beings or any divine beings who can reverse the wheel of Dhamma that Buddha had set down into motion or set into motion. This is what he said. So that is why till now, from the time of Buddha, it's already 2,500 years have already passed. Still the Dhamma is following, it's keep on rotating, and now we are in this time that we are able to receive the Dhamma. This is what the Buddha means to say. So in order to see very clearly about the Dhammachakkapavattana, it is the heart and soul of the Buddha's teaching, where he had taught that one should give up the two extremes. One should not involve in the two extremes too much. As you may be aware, when the Buddha was meditating, he was not able to concentrate. Then an example, a simile was given to the string of the one kind of musical instrument is like guitar, sitar or something it is called. So when the string is too tight and when it is too loose, the sound does not come good. In the same way, when one is too much involved in these two sensual pleasure and self-torturing, then you will not able to concentrate the mind. That is why Buddha said one should put aside these two things, two extremes, and one should follow the middle path. And this is the Noble Eightfold Path, is the middle path, which we have summarized into Sila, Samadhi and Painya. So I think I will conclude here. You maybe have understood about this. So today is really, really very special day for all of us to gather here and to pay our respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and also to practice meditation taking the precept, listening to the Dhamma discourse. May all the blessings come to you. May you all live long with good health, happiness, strength, and never meet with any dangers, any difficulties. And may you all grow on the path of spiritually up to the attainment of Nirvana. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena sada suti bhavantu te.